What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the Beardscape. Yo, I straight up just got a message on Instagram from somebody that I swear said, I know you're talking about the Beardscape every week on the podcast. I didn't really think it'd be that good, but my girl got one for me as a present because she hears me listen to the podcast in the car all the time, and she knew about it. She got it. Whoa, you weren't kidding. This thing is a beast, and I'm telling you, folks, I'm not lying. Maybe it's time for you to upgrade. Do you have a crappy beard trimmer, one with dull blades that pull out hairs, maybe a battery that doesn't work so good anymore, maybe a long cable that's always get tangled, clunky to bring with you on the road? Listen to me here. The Brio Beardscape, they've got you covered. This thing has a powerful motor. It's got blades that are made of ceramic, not stainless steel, so they stay sharper, longer. It takes less maintenance. It has a battery display, so you know exactly how many minutes of shaving remain, and the battery itself is huge. It lasts, for me, a year. If you shave a lot, it wouldn't last a year, but it lasts like multiples of times longer than other shavers. I love the Beardscape, and I talk about it all the time. Go to Brio4Life.com. That's BRIO, the number 4Life.com, and use code SMOKING at checkout to get the best price on the internet for the best shaver on the internet. The Brio Beardscape, folks. It's the jam. Brio4Life.com. Use code SMOKING at checkout. Now, do you drive a modern forced induction car? And what I mean is, does your car have a supercharger or a turbocharger on it? If it's a modern car, odds are decent that it does. Race Chip is here, and they can improve both the fuel economy and the horsepower of your turbo or supercharged car. They're made in Germany, engineered, built, and tested on the Autobahn, the dyno, and the racetrack, with more than 30 dyno runs per vehicle and frequent lapping. For over 10 years, Race Chip has been headquartered in Munich and Stuttgart, the heart of the German automotive industry. A Race Chip plug-and-play installation just takes 15 minutes, and there's plenty of videos available on YouTube, and all the engine protection mechanisms remain active because it doesn't modify the ECU itself. It's very easy also to return your car back to stock. It's TUV approved in Germany, which is much stricter than the US. There's up to a 5-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give them a follow on Instagram at Race Chip Tuning. There's the word chip is there twice. Race Chip Tuning, and YouTube and Facebook. Or if you want to order, go to racechip.us. That's RACECHIP.us, and use code Smoking Tire to get 10% off your order. Code Smoking Tire gets you 10% off, limited to one Race Chip per customer. They are simply faster. Lastly, check engine light comes in your car. What are you going to do about it, folks? The first thing you should do is get yourself a Blue Driver Pro scan tool. Blue Driver can read all the computer systems in your vehicle, tell you what the problem is, and suggest solutions from a database of millions of ASE verified fixes. Then you can fix the problem yourself or head to the garage armed with knowledge. Either way, you are in control. Plus, Blue Driver can do so much more than just read codes. You can view live telemetry data from your vehicle, read freeze frame and mode 6, or do a smog checkup, as well as get up to date on recalls and service bulletins, plus much more. That's why Blue Driver is the best-selling scan tool on Amazon, folks. Don't just take our word for it. Check out the thousands of positive reviews on Amazon. Reviews written by real people who saved a ton of time and money by using Blue Driver. For a limited time, take advantage of our special Smoking Tire offer. Visit bluedriver.com/TST. That's bluedriver.com/TST to get 10% off the Blue Driver Pro Scan Tool. Don't let your car troubles be a mystery again. Get Blue Driver today at bluedriver.com/TST. All right, on this episode, me and Zack Clapman are in the studio. We are catching up with all the cars we've been driving. I was in the i8. Zack drove this crazy Exocet thing, and I am about to head off to New York for a memorial at my friend's Carl Ruiz's restaurant, La Cubana, with Opie and some New York comics. Plus, my cars are coming west. But it's me and Zack on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
What's up, Biches? What up? Smoking Tire Podcast.
Smoking Tire Podcast.
Monday. It has. I feel a little Monday-ish today. Actually,
Just kind of
Zack Clapman. Me and Zack in studio. Ain't no guests today. I'm gonna try and see how long we can get away with the not get away with. Do the one guest per week and then us.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is, us scores better than them.
We do. They bring new information, and in this way, we were able to catch up. On what we're doing.
Yeah, and also, it's hard to focus on a guest when you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
and it's also
it's hard to focus on the guests.
Hard to not follow the numbers when you look at when the download numbers are substantially higher when it's just us. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gotta do. It just means a little more of just us, I think, not elimination of guests.
I agree.
I really liked having Chris Porter here last week. That was awesome. He's fucking funny.
Oh yeah, that was
hilarious.
Cool. That was really cool. It's like I envy you. The whole time.
I know.
The coolest job
I have
ever.
Comedian envy. It's like, and then he had, but then the comedians all comment on my Instagram like, dude, you have the coolest job.
Yeah. The grass is always greener with cool creative things, I think.
I guess. I could use this job and spin it into comedy, but I don't because I'm not fucking funny. Oh, what's up, people? It's just me and Zack today, and if you want to talk cars, get up in the super chat. I don't want to turn the show into an ad, but we did make the Chef Carl Ruiz shirt. It's for sale right now on our Blip Shift, and actually it's really easy to find. It's blipshift.com/Ruiz. We'll get you straight there. We got it in white. We got it in gray. And all the money, 100%. Actually, I can't say all the money because Blipshift hasn't quite volunteered the cost amount yet like they did with the fire thing. But all our money, the money we would get, is going to go to a scholarship that is being set up by Carl's restaurant, La Cubana in New York City. And I'm actually going to La Cubana tomorrow morning. Or I'm going to New York tomorrow morning for a celebration of life at La Cubana on Wednesday.
If anybody wants to see the shirt,
we have one.
Wait, where's the camera?
What camera are you on here?
This one.
This is the Ruizing shirt. I was fucking rocking it. It's dope. It's got Carl on the front. On the back it says, "Don't trust your own taste. Chances are you have none," which is perfect, Carl Ruiz. I hope everyone did a little fucking Ruizing this weekend. I perfected Carl's matzo ball soup, which I did successfully. It took me 4 tries to perfect it. It's really fucking hard to make. It's extremely labor intensive. And even more than that, it's so dish intensive. It's the kind of dish that only a professional chef who's got an $8 an hour guy washing dishes should be making.
Oh, because there's that much used.
There's so many dishes you have to use to make. You're pouring shit into other shit, and to make one pot of soup, you need 4 pots.
I was about to say maybe it's something I do with while my parents are around and I want to kill 8 hours, but maybe I wouldn't want to use all their dishes.
No, it's you need a lot of pots and stuff to do it. It's
it's
a dish intensive dish. But dude, I cooked 3 fucking nights in a row over the weekend.
I know. I came over last night. It was amazing. I mean, everything you make is a little dish intensive. Last night wasn't crazy.
Last night's dinner took me 4.5 hours to make. The one on Saturday, which I have for Marco from TLG, who's been on the show, or maybe he was just on the Watch show. Was he on that show? He was on this show.
I wasn't here when he was on it, but
you
went to his garage, obviously.
Oh, when he built my motor. Yeah,
you showed all that.
So I made dinner for him and his wife is a rabbi. And it was Rosh Hashanah, and so I made a brisket and I made Carl's matzo ball soup. And he was a big fan of Carl, so he appreciated that.
You did not go bowling because you don't roll on Shabbos.
Because I do not roll on Shabbos, and fucking
and neither does she.
And you sure as shit shouldn't roll on Shabbos. And then I made this pork roll thing and eggplant parm last night, which is
the flip side.
2 crazy labor. It's like 4 labor-intensive dishes in 2 days.
No, but Saturday was like ribeye, and then Sunday was like cheese with pork.
Yeah, that eggplant parm thing takes like 3 hours to make as well. It takes a really long time to make that dish.
I would make that at home.
It's fucking banging.
Really, really, really good. And I'd have to hand cut it. You used a deli slicer.
The deli slicer takes your shit to such a next level because your every slice is the same, and so when you have that level of like uniformity, it just makes the rest of the dish go so much smoother. But like,
it was also the speed. Like you had to cut how many eggplant?
It was only 3.
3.
3 eggplant.
Okay, 3 eggplant shaved as thin as like
I think
a
they were
CD.
like an 1/8 inch.
Okay,
yeah, they're real
to do
thin.
that, the amount of time, the time difference between you and like a pro chef with a knife would probably be significant.
Yeah, but then Hannah was on point because you have to grill them first, and so or saute pan them, and so you have to do all of those slices, and so I think she sautéed like 8 at a time, probably like 200 slices.
Oh my god!
It took like almost an hour. It's a fucking really labor intensive.
That's why it's good because you pull all the moisture out, then you bake it with the cheese and the other things. Otherwise, it would be a watery mess. Which is why a lot of times I don't like lasagna when it's like a soup.
Americans can't make lasagna. They fucking put way too much filling, way too much. Like probably on like the average shitty Americanized Italian restaurant puts in. I mean, probably 5 times too much liquids and cheeses in the lasagna.
Well, we've made it into a sloppy Joe. That's what we really did.
It's the lasagna-fied sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
Totally. Anyway, there are cars also, but they're less boring than the fucking dishes from the weekend, honestly.
There were cars in the meal.
In the layer 7 of the eggplant parm. No, I spent all week with a BMW i8 that everyone else decided they didn't like 5 years ago. But I never drove one, so I was like, let me try this thing, and there's a convertible now. So the good news is...
It's pretty good looking from this angle in this color. I will say that.
I'm very proud of myself for that photograph. That photograph, when I was doing, that's where I did the walk arounds for the one take this morning, and I walked, you walk around the car twice, and every time I passed this angle, I went, whoa! It's like, bam! This angle... It doesn't work from any other angle. I had the perfect light, the perfect everything about this shot. The universe lined up because that's like a literally iPhone 8 no filter. That's a perfect shot. It's
like a front for people listening. It's like not quite parallel at the side, not quite front 3/4. It's in the middle. It's a 5/8 or something like that.
Yeah, but it has the perfect sunrise happening behind me to highlight exactly how BMW would want the curves of the car to be highlighted.
It also hides how big the car is because you're not near anything, right? Because wasn't that a problem with parking this thing?
So you have two things. One is that the car is very wide, which I can deal with that, right? The little red car of mine is 74.8 inches wide. Okay, and they basically invented vertical doors because the car was so fucking wide, right? That's pretty much how that. I mean, they look cool also, but the Countach had vertical doors.
It's a very wide car,
right? The i8 is 2 inches wider.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's a full 76 inches wide. It's really wide.
That also speaks to how big the Countach was, because most other cars, if you went back 30 years or 40 years and said how big is it, like an E30 from then is a foot smaller in every dimension than the new one, at least. Wow.
So the i8's actually wider, and then the doors, literally like they are attached. The hinge is at the widest part of the car. And the doors go pretty much fucking straight out horizontal from there. Like, it's just... And, like, so the problem is with vertical doors. Like, I like vertical doors. Vertical doors are fun. But the problem with a vertical door compared to a horizontal door is you can't open a vertical door halfway. You can't just hold it halfway.
That's true.
It opens, it goes up until it stops. You can physically stop it, or if you have someone to hold it, but... You can't open it halfway.
Right. You can't slip out, like a seal or like an eel the way you can with an open door.
Exactly, right? And so when you install vertical doors on a car or when you design a car to have them, they're often hinged in a certain way so that they don't actually go more than a few inches outside the body of the car. The best versions of this are hinged from the center of the roof. The DeLorean, the Mercedes Gullwings, and the McLaren 720 and the new Ford GT and the Ferrari Enzo and LaFerrari are all hinged that way, from the center of the roof, and they come in. So although the doors are dihedral, they don't actually stick out that far. And if you were to park next to another car, they stay pretty well tucked into the car, at least until they're up and out of the way of what would be another car next to it. The BMW doors, they pretty much start on the outside of the car and then stick out from there. So you start with an already very wide car. Can you see if you can find a picture that's not a 3/4, Zach, where you're front or rear straight on with doors up? And you can really see that they just stick out like crazy far. And so it was actually quite difficult to... if you parked it in my garage, for instance, if you parked it so that you could open one of the doors, you couldn't open the other.
Oh, okay. So you can't bring a person with you.
You could, yeah. You can't have two people get in the car in the garage. And I thought it was really annoying to get in and out of. Like the sill is so wide, and then the roof is really tight. Yeah. Here's a great picture. Look how far outside of the car that those doors stick. They're pretty far out.
They are. Well, the Enzo looks far as well.
The Enzo,
not as quite as far. It's also a lot older. What was the swing like when they go out, though?
They just go like this, from the ceiling, just straight up and out.
Right into somebody's mirror.
Whereas the Enzos go up like this.
Oh, they go up and forward.
So here, put my camera on. Yeah. So the i8, if the door's on the side of the car, they just go out like that. A DeLorean would go like this, hinged from the middle, like a SLS Gullwing, hinged from the middle. i8 is this. Enzo is this.
So Enzo basically it almost moves forward, like
yes,
it's a combine of a wing and a hatch going forward.
Correct, but because it's hinged from the center, you not only do you have less room outside the car, you also have that big cutout of roof that's now no longer there, so you can plop down in. The i8, if you park it with the top retracted, that helps. You can do the plop in. But with the top closed, you can't do the plop in, and you have to like really C-clamp yourself into this space. Like, look at the size of the sill on that thing. You got to climb
really big,
over.
Yeah, it's really big.
It's a huge sill. And and at this point, the audience is rolling their eyes and go, "Man, you're fucking 6'3", you're 260 pounds. I can't why could you expect to fit in that?" Like you say about the Lamborghinis, like it's not the car's fault, right? You're tall and fucking fat. Hannah, my wife, is 5'2", and I won't say her weight, but she's very fit and athletic.
Yeah,
she's the opposite of fat and the opposite of tall. She took it for a drive and came back and was like, "I can't get in this thing. It's so uncomfortable to get in." And then it's like, the argument in theory is that it's not a supercar, it's a touring car or a city car, right? Okay, well if so, why is it bad at those things?
I mean, no car should really be bad at those things.
Those things are easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you have cars like Koenigsegg, like it's a hypercar, but their doors are very smart.
Yeah.
And they don't swing out that far, and then it rolls up vertically.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a problem if you have a low roof or if you're in a low garage, but otherwise, like, it's a clever solution to that problem.
Yeah, this one, it seems like they tried to build a mid-engine car, but they didn't ever actually drove any other ones. Like, just stuff that is like good about mid-engine cars is like kind of not good about this one. But what it really feels like is if you went back 10 years and imagined a future that didn't actually happen. It's basically the BMW version of like you had the Volt, Chevy Volt, and the Cadillac ELR. Mm-hmm. You have the i3 and the i8. That's exactly the same thing. Underneath the i8 is fundamentally a more juiced up i3. The technology is the same. It's just a little more power in the i8. And they've plopped this supercar looking body on it, but given it virtually none of the the performance is like whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's not like horrible, but it's not delivered in the kind of way you'd want it to be. And in the time since they designed this and built it and whatever, I think at least Americans, I can't speak for the whole world, have decided that we don't want our $150,000 two-seat green cars to be hybrids. We want them to be fast electrics, you know, like the Tesla Roadster, like they've got deposits on that shit. And like when you want like that, the whole like short electric range with long gas range, like that works for like a Volt or a Prius or like even like a 3 Series where it's like, this is just like your car. You know what I mean? So like I need to run errands and then I need to take road trips. Like nobody needs an i8. An i8 is going to be a passion driven car. It's like,
it also falls like I know in London or the comment was like congestion tax. So if you have a car that can go, 12 miles in electric mode only, and then the rest of the time it's 800,000 horsepower.
See, that would be great if it had a powerful gas engine, which it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, Porsche's hybrids, at least the Turbo SE hybrids, they have like regular ones too, but like the fast ones, all the top performing version of every Porsche in the next generation will be a hybrid. They told me that. And the Porsche hybrids, although they're very heavy, they're fun to drive. The reason they're fun to drive is they have less range than something like the i8, but they have more powerful electric motors that give you better electric acceleration. The electric acceleration in the i8 is real sluggish. Like if you put it in, like you have to like use the gas engine also if you want to go anywhere.
I think that was part of the batteries. The batteries that they got from. I was researching this for Tesla for EV episode of Drive, which just aired on Sunday, and Tesla, one of their advantages is that they build all their own stuff. So like they could design their battery pack that's like it's these little rods. It's basically like rods in between lasagna noodles. So they have these wavy fins that are cooling fins, and then all the cylinders are the battery packs. That's why they're able to discharge so quick and not overheat and catch on fire. But BMW bought like pre-designed Panasonic batteries. They're like, well, we make them in rectangles. This is what we have right now, and they want to keep their costs down. And they're a big company. That's what they have to do. But that means that it can only discharge so fast. It can only cool so fast. So it can't have that crazy whomp the way like a Tesla. I mean, that's what Tesla's built their name on partly.
Well, that's a fucking problem because the market has demonstrated that when
were these designed? When was this come out? It's a while ago.
It came out in 2015, but it was probably designed in 11, 12, 13. You know what I mean? So, so it imagined, like, remember Tokyo? Remember how Tokyo was the future from 1985, but without Apple products? Tokyo is go back to the 80s and imagine a fucking Panasonic future, and that's Tokyo today.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. This is a future in which we all drive electric while we're in the city and then we switch to gasoline when we get on the highways. That didn't happen. Range anxiety at this very high end of the market is alleviated by a few things. Bigger battery packs, faster charging stations, a la Tesla and Porsche now with their 800 volt thing, and just owning another fucking car.
Yeah.
So I think that the things that this car, the i8, does well are not things that people need from a $150,000 plus two-seat car. They're things you want from a Volt or a Prius plug-in or an electric 330e or whatever the fuck they're calling that these days. This I just don't get. Now, that doesn't mean it couldn't survive. If they develop their own battery packs or buy better ones or whatever it is that they do, they could modify the tub with better sills. They, presumably the tech has improved, right? They could modify the tub. They could ditch the gas engine entirely and bring this a second generation out, the E8 maybe. And it's a fast EV, and that would be cool.
Well, the tub, that brings up, I think this was also a carbon fiber exercise for them, wasn't it? It was like, let's learn about carbon fiber manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's shaped the way it is. Maybe it's packaging, maybe it's strength, crash stuff, all those things. Like BMW, everyone had to make a bet on propulsion, and like Tesla went full electric. A couple other companies like Porsche now are following, going that's where it went, and they went. Maybe it's the hybrid thing. It seems to not work.
Forget Porsche dipped a toe into diesel first.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they did that as well.
They actually did. They did a little hybriding, a little dieseling together.
I think they saw the writing.
Yeah.
BMW, it seems like they're also making the bet on cars need to get lighter, so let's dip our toe into carbon manufacturing quick because they like mass produced it.
Yeah. That does make sense. You know what I mean? It does. I just think, and I don't think that it's necessarily like an executional error with the carbon fiber. I just think, and the car, to its credit, like take the top off, still rigid, not jiggly, very tight, with top up, top down, feels exactly the same.
What's it weigh?
3,600 pounds, which is heavy, but not heavy for a hybrid. I think someone told me the actual goal was lowest like CO2 production, and so that's why it has a little tiny shitbox engine in it when they could actually fit a much bigger one. Allegedly, there were prototypes that had V8s, that had N55 or N54 engines in the Turbo 6. Like there was like various different prototypes, and like they wanted it to be an emissions and efficiency exercise, and so they put this fucking terrible engine in it, which I think was even honestly, imagine how much better it would be if it even had the 4-cylinder out of the 328, versus this terrible 3-cylinder. At least
it would have driven better, but man, everyone would have laughed at it. Like,
it has a 3-cylinder out of a Mini.
I know.
How is that not?
Because then it
better?
has a new idea. Because it has a hybrid system.
No. I mean, if you left the hybrid system, but instead of the shitty gas engine it has, if it has the 4-cylinder out of a Mini instead, that would even be, or a 4-cylinder out of a 328. Because that even could be an improvement. Like
maybe
4-cylinders are substantially better than 3-cylinders.
For sure, they're better balanced, right?
They're better. They sound better. I don't know if I told you this after the last show. The sound you get in the cabin in this car is 100% fake. It's so fake. It's not even Forza fake. It's Gran Turismo fake. You remember?
So every car sounds the same?
Every car sounds the same? Yeah. The sound you get in the cabin is generic Gran Turismo engine sound. The sound that happens outside the car, where you hear the drive-bys, it sounds fucking nothing like what's going on in the car.
I rode in this car years ago, and I can't remember what it sounded like. I thought Ducati, but maybe I was wrong.
That's not far off. Muted Ducati is kind of what you get in the cabin.
Okay.
Outside the cabin, it sounds like broken Triumph. I valeted at Casa del Mar, and as the driver drove away, I heard it like fire up and drive. I was like, "What is that? Is that my fucking car?" Like I literally went back out the door to be like, "That's not the car I drove up in, is it?" And it was. I was like, "Whoa!" It's night and day. It sounds completely different inside and outside the car.
Okay,
it's really weird. The concept is unfortunately flawed.
It's a bummer.
But it could survive. I just, there's some things they could have done to make it a lot better probably during its life cycle that they really haven't done. Like it doesn't have lumbar support. Like it has the seats, forward, backward, up, down. That's what you get.
Inexcusable.
It's $167,000. There's no fucking adjustable lumbar.
Everyone's shaped a little bit different. Even the 850 I had lumbar, but it was fixed height. It was like it said it went up and down, but it didn't. It was just like up the middle of your back.
No.
But yeah, everyone needs a different amount of lumbar support, especially with that amount of money.
Yeah.
Even the manual lumbar support is pretty good. When they add the crank thing, that's usually fine.
Like if you're trying to save weight, give me a really well-built manual seat and I won't complain. I mean, Porsche will sell you a $200,000 Turbo S, the manual seat, straight face on.
Yeah.
But you know what? You sit in it and it's really comfortable. You can't complain because it's a great fucking seat. This seat was not that great and then offered no lumbar adjustment, which I thought was extremely strange.
Probably a weight thing because everyone would want electric lumbar, which would add X number of pounds, probably dozens of pounds.
Yeah,
really.
it's like an air compressor basically, and or like roller things.
Yeah,
I mean it's fucking 3,600 pounds. You got to give the driver lumbar.
I wonder, do they have a set date for production end for this?
I have no idea.
It seems like
the Roadster's new. The Roadster's new for 2020. This is a new car. I didn't take like the fucking last i8 in the fleet. This is a brand new car.
No, I wonder because you don't see them very often. You don't hear about them very often. They're kind of, they're flawed. People don't love them. Like,
I don't see them in the media at all.
Exactly.
I do see them driving around Los Angeles, especially since I've been driving this one. I've seen a bunch.
Really?
I've seen at least 3 a day since I've been driving this one.
What?
Yeah.
If I see one every 2 months, I'm amazed. I mean, we drive in different neighborhoods, but still.
It's not that different. You live like 2 miles from me.
You know how much the city changes in half a block, dude. It does.
Bro, East of Lincoln's different.
Fuck, it is. It's totally different. The cost difference is twice when I was looking for apartments.
Yeah, but someone got stabbed on my street yesterday.
Makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. It does.
Mm-hmm. Double the cost, double the stabbings. That's the crazy people ad tagline for Venice.
All right, I was looking up there to see if they had a production run date set. They don't. It just says to present.
Yeah, no, they still make that shit. What was the first model year? 14?
14.
Yeah,
14 for a coupe.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see them, it does look a bit like the future. They're kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
And, doors aside, depending on like the angle you shot from the upper rear was like it looked wonky.
Yeah.
But from ground level,
from certain angles, it looks pretty cool. Looking,
and
the Roadster looks good too.
Yeah.
Like the Roadster does improve how it looks, and non-car people liked it. Randoms on the street that didn't know anything about cars thought it was cool.
In 2035. I mean, I make that like I think more designs will have this. This looks like if you put it in stock form in iRobot 2.
Yeah,
everyone would just go, "Yep, cool movie car."
I mean, in general, as none of the problems I have with this car have to do with the styling. It looks like it looks, and like I think it looks kind of cool. Like I'm definitely not anti how it looks, and any company willing to build a car that looks just like a concept car, God bless.
Right.
Like Lexus LC, woo, thank you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even like Chevy SSR, wonky, but you built a fucking 6-speed convertible pickup truck. Like, God fucking bless. Like, thank you for doing that stupid shit for us. Even the convertible crossovers, I kind of support. Just because...
It takes balls. It takes balls.
It means, like, somebody has a sense of humor. But, like... Yeah, that's not the problem I have with this. It does look like the future still, kind of.
It's just functionally inept.
Well, the ways in which it is a, quote, supercar just make it worse than the i8, which has all the same advancements. Or, I'm sorry, than the i3, excuse me, which has... Remember, did you drive an i3 ever? They're rad.
Yeah.
They only are not good because of the small fuel tank. In every other way, they rule. This is that... just less comfortable and annoying to park.
If they made an i3 with the same battery range as like an e-Golf, that'd be a really fun little city runabout thing.
There's like
really
a reason
fun.
They don't, and it's more than just they bought cheap batteries.
Wasn't it like a tax carbon? I'm sure there's a bunch of numbers involved.
Well, there's something about the classification of it where the electric range can't exceed the gas range. No, excuse me. Gas range can't exceed the electric range, and it gets qualified as a range-extended EV as opposed to a plug-in hybrid, and I think they get more like carbon offset credits or whatever the bullshit is that they trade, the cap and trade. It's the trade portion of that.
Yeah.
By calling it that. Because they couldn't give it a bigger EV range, they just gave it like a 3-gallon gas tank so it can go like 45, 50 miles on a tank of gas, which is the dumbest shit in the world. Because there's no other reason.
If you can't run a 40 in under 5 seconds, you can't get in the NFL. You're like, what if we shorten it to 30?
Yeah, exactly. It's very dumb.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, otherwise, it's like someone... Does someone sell an aftermarket fuel tank? Can you just Google i3 aftermarket fuel tank and see if that exists? Because like some enterprising Kiwi has to have figured this out, right? How to hack BMW i3 for more driving range? Interesting. I mean, larger fuel tank. Yeah, does someone make one? Or do you just have to like install auxiliary fuel cell somewhere?
I mean, reading quickly, this person found a coating process that enlarged the fuel tank. I mean, I'm trying to read really quick.
Coding?
Coating.
Or coating?
Coding.
A coding process. How do you enlarge a fuel tank with coding?
U.S. spec cars are programmed to shut down the fuel pump earlier, giving it 1.9 gallons of usable fuel.
1.9. How infuriating is it that a company would sell you a car with 1.9 gallons of usable fucking fuel? Ugh.
European spec cars get 2.4 gallon capacity. So, but I think what this is saying is that the fuel tanks are the same. It has a code that says, "Oh, I've ran 1.9 gallons. I shut down." So maybe there might still be fuel in the tank.
Oh my god!
Someone's probably screaming at. Well, let's see. This person. This guy ran the code. Mm-hmm. After he ran the alteration, he turned on hold state of charge. He ran the gas engine till it burned up. At the next gas station, he put 2.4 gallons in. So if this is true, I mean, don't yell at me. I'm just reading. This is Automobile Magazine. So.
It's not true.
Yeah, it sounds like the tank sizes for both U.S. and America are the same physical size, but it has a code that just says I've used enough.
Oh my god! So that's how you tune a hybrid.
That's amazing.
That sucks. That's so shitty, dude. That's so shitty. But also, like, what if it had, I don't know, a fucking 8-gallon tank? I mean, an 8-gallon tank would probably give that car like a 200+ mile gasoline cruising range, in addition to the 80 miles of EV you get.
I mean, you're right. It's because of CARB. You keep reading this thing. It's like if the i3 is classified as a battery extended electric vehicle, while the Volt
range extended
would be a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And to be classified as a BEV, battery extended, the gas power range has to be shorter than the electric range.
What a dumb fucking rule.
Yeah.
Like, encourage them to build like this car that otherwise is so nice, but like the only person, like BMW gets more value out of their stupid cap and trade thing, and the only people get fucked are the consumers. Like because they're buying a very expensive vehicle that is literally made worse so that BMW can make more money.
The comment section is going to be interesting on this because CARB is like in the news right now because of,
because California wants to
like set a certain mark for the MPG, and like this is not related to that, but it's going to be comments are going to be busy.
I mean,
they have good rules, but man, I mean this.
No, I'm pro California setting the standards here. Like Like what happened? Hey, what happened to states' rights? Remember states' rights? Remember when Republicans were about states' rights until you want to do something good with that?
I mean, that's pretty much most of the political system.
Yeah, but this is just dumb. I mean, this is like it's just the exploitation of a bad loophole. Really,
it'd be cool one day to get someone on here that, I don't know, works for CARB or used to work for CARB and could explain like all the crazy ins and outs of how carbon taxes and these things work. And like maybe they did this because it was a dumb decision. It's funny, I'm looking at Chris Cantle, I think parked in a red zone in this automobile article. Or maybe they did it because 5 other cars were going to benefit from it, and the consumer's experience was going to benefit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
that's why we're not lawyers.
That's 30 minutes on BMW's iCars. Wow, that went by quickly.
For the 5 listeners still, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Our listen time is going to be. Oh shit, we got a lot of questions.
That's
wow.
Good.
All right. Anything else we need to cover before we just straight get to that?
No.
All right.
That's all you've driven? I was gonna say I haven't driven anything, but
you drove that Exocet thing, which we didn't talk about on the show.
Those are such a great idea. Those are such a good idea. Like, I mean, they're a terrible idea. No,
like a good idea, or like
what the owner told me was that the original design was very flawed, and then an American company bought the design and like refined it and built it with new metallurgy, and so they're safer now.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
When did now start?
I don't know. This guy's had his for like a few months, and he's
but
a mechanical
talking
engineer.
Like real recent?
I don't know. Whatever the American company that owns the rights to Exocet now. I think, how long have they been making those things?
I drove one like 3 years ago.
Well, hopefully it was after. Hopefully it was before that.
I mean, it was mildly shady, if I'm honest. It was kind of fun, but
I mean, they're not safe.
No.
Nothing about them feel like we were driving on a hill with a very steep hill with exposed everything, and you have no misgivings or ideas about like if you crash into a squirrel, you're probably having a bad day. Yeah. But fuck, are they fun?
Yeah, I've never been in a car and been like, you know what would make this better? getting rid of the body.
Have you ever been in a Miata and thought too heavy?
Yeah, no.
No one's ever said that before.
No, never.
Thought more power, but this was 1,000 pounds lighter than a Miata. This was a 1650.
I mean, it's crazy.
wet.
That's crazy, but I like living.
I do too, but I never I'm. When I had my Miata, when I had the Miata, I realized the day I bought it, I was next to an H2 Hummer, and I saw the emblem on the Hummer was the height of my head. I was like, if I crash in this car into anything, I'm probably dead. So Exocet's not that different than Miata as far as safety goes.
You're just dead faster?
You're just dead faster, and you're going to have more grass in your face.
I think you could survive more in a Miata than you would in an Exocet.
Because it has crumple zones instead of scaffolding and rigging gear.
Yeah.
The power to weight, though, because this guy put a Camaro V6, an LFX in it, so it had 320 horsepower, and it's 1650 pounds. Like, exiting corners in second gear, it just would start doing a rolling burnout, and you couldn't really tell except like a little bit of vibration in the seat, because it wouldn't step out, it wouldn't kick out, it wasn't like an unruly setup. It was tuned, the suspension was tuned pretty good, little stiff, but it would just, I would kind of tell, like, I'm pressing the gas more, but I'm not really going any faster. Oh, that's just wheel spin. It's just very gentle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a riot. Like, it's good at entertaining you and probably going really fast on a racetrack.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
It's scary.
Sunburn. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good kind of scary.
Janky.
I liked it. His ran well, but I think because this was built by an engineer, like, he has that brain of taking his time and making sure all the dots are on the I's and everything. But he's building a body for it.
It's not good. It can't be good.
What's the point of the Exocet?
I mean,
like,
it's a good point. Is the body just so he doesn't get rocks in his pants, or is the body so that it actually looks more like a car?
He's taking this car as like a blank canvas to learn how to wrench and stuff, and because he has the know-how to make a body out of fiberglass, he's like, oh, well, what if a car the size of the Miata looked like something else?
Yeah.
Which I respect. But I did laugh when he said he's putting a body. I was like, you just got done taking the body off. Like,
that's true.
It's gonna be
I drove that Miata that had a body kit on it that was awesome, that made it look like a British kind of like Lister thing with sort of a fastback on it. And it was pretty amazing, actually.
What was it? Black?
It was green. It was a Rotrex.
Oh yeah.
Rotrex supercharged fastback. I think
that car looked
the video and
exceptional.
It was really good, and he did the whole thing. Like, he redid the interior in a way that made it look older and like real fucking classy. Actually,
it looked really cool.
It looked great. I don't know what happened to the video, but it's out there somewhere. And it was amazing.
Like, you know the Ginetta?
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like.
So I think this guy, like, the Ginetta looks like a good time.
Yeah.
And I think this is where this is headed. But you got to laugh when someone took the body off a car and then they build a body to put on the frame that they put on the car.
Yeah, I mean, can he just, this sounds like a dumb question, can he just get a Miata body but in full carbon or something like that? Like, would you want to remold a Miata body just in a lighter material? Because in a Miata steel
could do
body,
that. Yeah, Miata
body,
steel. I mean, yeah, he could scan a Miata body and do it, but I think, he's clear. This is Ginetta,
the Ginetta
not that one.
Akula? Is it called? It's called the Akula?
No, I was talking about this little guy.
Oh yeah, they race these things.
Yeah, it's like a spec car, which are really cool.
The G40, they're
very cool looking.
That nose is what the Miata looks like.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I think he's probably headed in this direction, which is, I don't know, it's cool. I had a really good time. I like the cars like that. They're a little bit of like, a little dangerous, a little fun, just get the adrenaline, and then as you're crashing and dying, you go, oh, I forgot about consequences.
That wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
As you're sailing down a cliff.
Man, but like, I don't know, V6 engines sound terrible most of the time, but in a car with this kind of energy and danger element, I was actually really about it. Because, like, the sound is kind of harsh, but the car's kind of harsh, and it's just, I don't know, there's like an angriness to all of it that I liked.
There's a way to bend pipes to make them sound a little better.
This didn't sound as bad as like a pipe GTR, which just sounds terrible.
The Lotus Evora manages to make a V6 sound really good.
Very true.
I think that's because it all goes into one collector. I think all the other V6s do a dual
pipes.
This is a short titanium single collector, and that has something to do with it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It can be done right. It's just too often done
fucking
wrong.
Expensive and hard.
Your straight pipe charger with a V6 does not sound good.
Oh my God, it's not as bad. It couldn't be worse than like an EcoBoost Mustang with straight pipes. Yikes!
I heard that the other day.
Worst.
It was really bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
And the guy thought it was awesome, which is even worse.
Yeah, they always do. What do we got? So we got something from the audience. Yo, get your questions in real quick because there's a lot, and shit, I don't even know if we're gonna get to them at this time. But
should I switch these screens so you can read better?
I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but can I do this?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not using this.
All right, cool. Let's see. Cryptographer says if you've got watch question. Oh, a watch car combo, $20K for a first nice watch and a highway cruiser / GT car. What are you thinking, and what would Carl have been thinking? Oh man, Carl would probably lean towards the watch more so the car. Like Carl would probably, he liked old Volkswagen, so he'd probably like spend $15K on like a Rolex, a really nice Rolex or Panerai, and then like $5K on a Scirocco. I want to tell a story about Carl, and I feel like it doesn't matter because he's dead.
Ooh,
but
it's a good setup.
But I might run it by Opie tomorrow first and get a little bounce off.
If you're hesitating, you probably.
I'm hesitant because it's this Carl a year or so ago had a Volkswagen Fox that he bought, and we were all about the Fox. And then one day, Fox was just gone. Well, I know what happened to the Fox. And I don't think a lot of other people do. And no one got hurt.
Find out next week what happened to the Fox. Let's find out next week what happened to the Fox.
$20K for a nice watch and a highway cruiser GT car. I think a Mustang GT of any recent vintage is a great place to start with a manual gearbox, which would leave you about $2,500, I'll say, for a good watch, and you get yourself into an Omega Seamaster, and that's a watch that you could keep for the rest of your life or as a good starting point to trade up later. I think Carl probably would be buying a cheap car and expensive watch. Spencer said, at Performance Car of the Year, did Ross Bentley hoon the minivans? Ross Bentley being the author of Speed Secrets, and he was one of the drivers for Road and Track Performance Car of the Year, and we did P-Voti, which is Performance Van of the Year. We had 3 minivans, and Ross was the driver. I will not give up the winner of the P-Voti yet. It's going to be in the magazine, but I will say that I called it. Let's see. Nick says, what do I think of Swatch now that their automatics are powered by an ETA movement? Swatch is really cool. If you want a really really cheap watch, like $100 or $150, but a lot of style, it's like a Swatch is like a non-compete. Like you go to like one of those watch or car meets where people are wearing flashy shit, and you show up with like a dope Swatch. Mm-hmm. It's like a non-compete. Okay, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like wearing sweatpants to the Oscars. It's like a non-compete. John O'Twist says, he's talking about fucking lasagnas. Oh, man, don't even give me a fucking recipe for lasagnas, though. I went to Tuscany and saw an old lady take 4 hours to make lasagna. I got this shit, son. Jordan says, here's to NASCAR, not effing with proving grounds and drive start time. Yeah. Yo, didn't you get bumped a couple weeks ago?
Well, we got bumped by a race.
Yeah.
So we actually got bumped up. We had a race end early. So the show went up earlier than usual.
That's worse. That's worse than getting bumped long. If you get bumped long, it's for like an intense race finish, maybe?
I don't know. Actually, our numbers do better when the race ends early.
Really?
Yeah, because some of the races are long, and then people's attention, they're still paying attention, I think. And like the race ends, go right to the show. I don't know. Sometimes we had really late time slots, so it helped with that. It was annoying because people's DVRs were set, so we apologize for that. We can't really do much. But if you have a DVR, The shows always get re-aired, and it's usually available on demand on whatever platform you're using, so you can go find the show.
Yeah. Shout out to Dante Zero. Nice. Thank you for your donation. He just started. Congratulations. Started his first automotive journalist job. Congratulations, Dante. Burnt Coolant Production says, what is the worst automatic and manual transmission sold today? Bozy tweeted yesterday, the Dodge Journey is still sold with a 4-speed automatic that goes back 31 years.
What?
It is based on the transmission you could find in the very first Caravans, Dodge Caravans, minivans. 31-year-old gearbox, evolved a little bit, obviously, but still can find it. And what's the worst manual transmission on sold sale today? Have you used a bad manual in a new car recently?
BMW didn't used to be very good.
The M2s was decent. The one I drove was fine. The Veloster Ends is quite good.
Oh yeah, I think the performance
base Veloster sucks.
The base-ish BMWs I've driven were kind of moosh. Hondas were pretty good. Even like the Civic Si was pretty good.
I haven't driven like a really terrible one in quite some time.
You know what? I think we need to go drive. Well, what's the cheapest car that's offered with a manual? That's a question.
Can you get a Versa with a manual? Or they're all like CVT.
Can you still get that?
You can really definitely still get a Fit with a manual. You can definitely still get a base Golf with a manual. Volkswagen
2020 Versa default transmission is a manual.
Volkswagen manuals are some of my least favorite, and the MT82 manual in the Mustang GT.
The Mustang
sucks.
with the crunch?
The crunchy Mustang. Yeah, that's not a good one either. What else we got? Oh, let's see. Joshua says we gave him confidence to buy his first nice car, a 328 wagon. Nice. Might upgrade to a high flow cat and downpipe for performance and exhaust note. What do I need to worry about with this mod? If you have an annual inspection, emissions, you're in Canada. I don't know what their deal is with that, but that may cause a problem. The high flow cats can go either way. Usually they're fine. Yeah. Sometimes they're not.
They're usually really good, but the biggest thing is if you don't get a tune for these parts, you're wasting lots of money.
That's also one.
Because those mods on a turbo engine will do a really good job, and like you should pick up a lot of power, but you'll only pick up power if you tell the computer, hey, you're about to flow a lot better, like you need more fuel, you need more air, you need all those things. If you don't do that, the computer has to like figure it out, and I don't know if the stock ECU will be able to adjust. Some do, but look up getting a tune, because that is what will give you that's what this car should have been.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Zach there. Eskimo Bob says, thoughts on low versus mid treadwear tires on a Miata for learning performance driving. I've done 2 HPDEs and 6 autocrosses on a Federal 595 RSRs. That's a reasonably sticky tire. And I'm debating going with something I can overwhelm to learn better car control. Great idea, Bob. Get some shitty tires. Get some like 400 treadwears or some 300 treadwears, something like that. Something where the car moves.
Yeah.
And if you want to, if you really want to learn, you can deliberately mismatch tires as well by getting a set of shitty rears, and leaving your Federals on the front to sort of create your own little skid car on a skid pad if you wanted to do that too.
That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also, if you went like a medium treadwear, you could slide it when you need to, but then also practice careful driving for grip. So it'd probably teach you how to deal with those 2 different situations.
Totally. So you can definitely make your car vastly looser and slidier with tires. And if you're trying to make it do that, it's a good way to do it. Matt Clark says, I need a fun car that will fit 2 kid seats. New or used, $20K, automatic preferable. Looking at an old Acura TSX. Oh, those aren't bad.
Those are great.
Yeah. Acuras, like they stay looking nice for like a while.
What Andrew Collins has a TLX.
He has a TLX.
He has a TLX, I think.
TLX.
And it rides so good.
Yeah.
I think it's an 06 and it feels brand new. Really good car.
They last a long time. Also, $20K gets a lot of Lexus. I recommend the Lexus ESs, GSs. The ES has a bigger back seat because it's front wheel drive. But I'm a big fan of daily driving Lexuses too.
Yeah.
Eskimo Bob also says, what's the most fun we've had in a car for 2K? All cars go to heaven.
For sure.
And we had fun in the car for fucking
$600
Yeah.
for the Honda Accent.
Yeah.
And $300 for
the Tercel. The Tercel was really, really well bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Zigzag says, how bad of an idea is it to buy a 2007 S65 AMG? Oh, wait.
Sorry, it jumped.
With 70,000 miles on it, Habibi. Pretty bad idea.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. I think Edmunds or one of them, someone bought a CL65 kind of as a goof for like, I don't know, 20 grand or something as like into their long-term fleet.
Yeah, they did.
And it cost them like 18 G's the first month. Some fucking crazy number.
Yeah, that was an amazing story.
Yeah, the Edmunds, they got an 05. Yeah, it costs, here's the wrap up. Can you cut to their costs if you've got, it was fucked up.
You just try to search.
And you did not, I don't think it's a worthwhile experience. I mean, I think if you wanted something of that vintage, the 55, the supercharged engine, is a much more reliable engine. Is that the maintenance bills? Fuck out of here. That's a big ass bill.
Let's see. Okay, they bought the car. They purchased the car with 56,000 miles. At 60,000, significant factory parts were scheduled for replacement. So let's see, 56. By the time they had got it to 72,000 miles, they had spent $11,000.
Fuck!
And that's
after buying the car
cost.
for like 20 grand, I think. It was cheap. It was like an extra 50% value. They also gathered various quotes for low priority items that they declined to repair. The first 3 on this list we brought to the dealer's attention. The remainder were supplied to us without asking. So these are just estimates they said they didn't want. Things like your AC motor making noise, trunk struts don't work anymore. That total cost would have been $13,600. And those are things they skipped, including replace the leaking turbo seals. So to get it back to ship shape within 14,000 miles, they would have spent 25 grand. And they bought it for 30 something. 30?
I think they bought it for 30 something. I mean, the answer is no.
No,
obviously, the answer
it's
is
a
no.
horrible idea. No, if you want an old Mercedes, get one from like before 2002, like a boxy one that like looks like a tank. Like those have like are a very known quantity at this point. You know what I mean? The ones that are nice have been cared for, and like you can keep that going and they'll run for a while. Like those 65s, like no thanks.
The less electricity going through it, the better. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like going in a swimming pool.
Yeah. You don't want one of them. Let's see. Oh, Ray went to see Christian James Hand at NoHo Sound, and cool. He had a good time. Yeah, dude, I set up Christian and Alex Roy. So Christian is doing some New York sessions at NoHo Sound. You can go to sessiononair.com and see Christian's touring schedule. He's doing shows in L.A., San Francisco, and then also at NoHo Sound. And is that it? Anything else on the calendar for that?
No, but if you want to look at NoHo Sound's events, you can just go to NoHo Sound.
Yeah, Alex is doing some cool
It's a really cool place to see musical events.
Yeah. If you're interested in meeting fucking weird-ass people and hanging out at Alex's apartment and listening to music, I heard my sister-in-law Maggie and my Aunt Liz, Hannah's aunt, who's like a famous publicist, they go to every single one at Alex's apartment.
Whoa.
They have front row seats.
Wow.
It's really funny.
Oh, cool.
Trent says, aside from the Supra, GTR, and RX-7, are there any other good JDM cars? Fuck yeah, there are, son. There's so many cool JDM cars. Subaru 22Bs.
Evo. Any of them.
Any early Evo. Toyota. What's the one we drove? The one
Chaser?
The Chaser. Toyota Chaser is like a 4-door Supra that looks almost exactly like a third gen Camry, but kind of with a Lexus GS interior and a Supra powertrain. They rule.
It's got a little 7 Series shape to it.
Yeah.
And they got a 1J in them, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
1J. They're fucking rad. Nissan Cedrics are super cool. My Delica is the shit.
GS350, ISF is cool. Lexus performance cars are not as celebrated, but they're awesome.
I think he means like imported stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. There's
Pulsar GTI.
Pulsar GTIR.
Yeah, GTIR.
Dude, you know, I don't think it's a secret. I think he'd be happy if I plugged it. Sean, the Top Rank guys who I bought my Skyline from and the Delica from, they are opening a JDM rental company in Vegas. So they've got Skylines and Supras and RX-7s and GTIRs and all kinds of shit that they're stocking up in Vegas that you can rent out by the hour or by the day.
It's really smart.
Yeah.
Oh, Skyline GTST. I forgot about those.
Yeah, like R33s are just starting to come across. Not GTRs yet, but there's the other Delica he's got.
Delica?
Yeah, he's got some that Delica he's got has the crystal light roof. It's actually called that.
I believe you completely. Yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got to go look at that.
That's the
awesome.
shit.
That's a
right
Skyline
there.
GTS 25T Type M 93.
If you want to, how much is that listed for? 16 grand. Like, I mean, think about like how much cooler car can you get than that? That is an inline 6 turbo rear wheel drive manual sedan built in like 93. How many kilometers on that? It looks pretty clean. At a time when the build
121,000 miles.
Oh, that's a lot. But build quality was like pretty high for this time, and so
it has a lot of new stuff on it too.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, lots of great shit. John O'Twist says Ed Bolian has i3 fuel cell needs. Oh, maybe he just knows fucking
he knows people that make fuel cells.
Yeah. Stephen Van Ryan says, I bought a Fiesta ST. Good job. Congratulations. When you get some wheels, some rally flaps, some winter tires, what else should I do?
Wants to keep his warranty, though.
You want to keep your warranty? I mean, don't fuck with the suspension. It's fine.
Yeah.
The exhaust... you can get a Cobb catback exhaust.
I think if you do Cobb Stage 2 with a downpipe, that voids your warranty. I think if you have to bring it in
this
for drivetrain.
void your warranty thing is they have to prove that your modification caused that.
Sorry, it depends on what breaks.
Yeah.
So like if you put a Stage 2 on and your stereo craps out,
it has nothing.
It won't.
Yeah,
it'll have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
If it was a drivetrain part, then you'd have an argument.
Yeah, and also they would have to prove it.
True.
And so, I don't think you need to do a whole lot. I mean, you really don't. I would not fuck with the suspension in the car, and if you're not willing to do some basic power mods, like those are the things. So I wouldn't mess with it too much. Save your money and just drive and enjoy it. More tires, summer tires, winter tires. That's it. Trevor says I have a new Volkswagen GLI that is just my fun car. Okay, I'm gonna either dump $5,000 in and go big turbo, or sell it and get something small rear-wheel drive. Duh. Mostly want to get into autocross and general fun. Ideally a 330iX. I have a question. Why is your fun car more lame than your daily driver? Riddle me this. Who dailies a BMW 330 and gets a Volkswagen GLI? That's a Jetta, not even a GTI. Who gets a Jetta as a fun car? Bro, if you want a fun car, that's the wackest fun car ever. That's
the fun car when you need a daily and you go, I guess I could get this. Yeah. Like, I drove one. I tested one. I think I did a review. No, the Passat, basically the same thing.
I've driven a bunch of GLIs. There's nothing wrong with the GLI, but that's not your fun car.
Well, he has redundant vehicles, I think, which is something we do run into. He has a redundant vehicle.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you should definitely go.
You should
rear-wheel drive with something small and light and fun, especially if you want to do autocross and general fun. And putting a big turbo on your GLI, you'll get bored of it pretty soon. Like
you just get wheel spin.
You'll get wheel spin, and you'll get. But
now you've got to get a
fifth will be awesome.
Now you've got to get a diff. Now you've got to get this bullshit. No, under 20K gets you all the S2000. Just go buy one of those and call it a day. Santiago says, I got a Lexus GS300. Any recommended mods for spirited driving? Not really.
Get a diff.
If it's old, you can get coilovers. A bunch of different people make them. Go with a conservative like an Eibach or a Bilstein or a KW or, depending on your budget. And then, good tires. Good tires. Make sure your brake pads. Basically, just make sure you have good tires and make sure that the shit works like it's supposed to. Go have your brake lines gone through. Make sure they're not rotted. Have new pads and fluid put in. Make sure all your car's in really good shape.
How much do those weigh?
I mean, they're not light.
Okay, yeah. So definitely make sure your brakes are up to snuff. Then.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so tired of just these same questions. Same questions.
New money.
Jesus, this
same
guy.
Questions,
this
new
is
money.
New money, same shit. Here's a guy, and I'm going to make fun of him because I'm not going to use his name. He's asking if he has 2 cars, and he's asking about a third. Same as our previous caller. All 3 of the cars are the same. He has an M4 for a fun car, a 335i as a regular car, but he wants to sell it and get an S4 in Colorado. These are the same. Your experience will be roughly the same.
He's combining the M4 and the 335 and kind of meeting in the middle. Like S4 is a little more sporty than a 335, but it's less sporty than M4.
The answer is, do you like how it drives, or I don't know. I guess I tell people to ask me one thing and then I don't like it when they do.
I would keep them separate because
keep them separate.
You have 2 very distinct seasons in Colorado. Enjoy each one. Otherwise, you have the same car for both seasons.
Yeah. The problem is the M4 is a bad sports car.
That's true.
That's the problem. You should get the S4 every day and then get an actual fun weekend car.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what he should do. Blah blah blah. Thank you. The best meal. Oh, Siwa says best meal from the late great chef. He only cooked for me twice. He cooked me once at his restaurant and he cooked me once at my house. His restaurant, La Cubana in New York, was amazing and it was delicious. Everything I ate was fucking super good. I even liked the lamb, which I don't normally eat lamb. He took me to an incredible meal at Adam Perry Lang. We should go to Adam Perry Lang in Hollywood, Zach. It's so fucking good.
Okay.
Best steak I've ever had. Mark says, what are your opinions on F80 M3 competition 6-speed? It's fine. It's fine.
We drove to Gingerman. It was good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's nice. Don't mod them. Every one I've ever driven that was modded was worse than stock.
That one was really good. We had the regular seats, not the fancy seats that were good.
Cloth seats.
Cloth seats were good.
Seats are good.
Manual transmission.
Yeah.
People do too much. You don't need to do as much as you're doing with most cars.
Don't do anything.
I don't understand what this question is.
I think he wants to know the future market price of FJ Cruisers. I think they're going up. Believe it or not, people are collecting them.
Yeah,
I don't know why they suck, but it's a specialty vehicle that's good at a thing, and it has a cult following, and that's good for collectability.
Do you want a truck that has the visibility of looking out of a tent?
I don't think it matters. They want it to look like that.
Yeah,
it has to look like that. The
and then
Wrangler's better
where am I?
Going off road.
Totally.
And a 4Runner's better at everything. Dingbat21 says, I traded my NC Miata for a 2016 Mustang GT non-performance pack. How can I improve steering feel and handling in general? It feels pretty sloppy as is. First and foremost, aftermarket wheels, square stance, good tires.
Yep.
I don't know what your tires are front to rear. It might be staggered with a non-performance pack car. I don't really know. But I think you can run like a 295 tire at all 4 corners on a 2016 Mustang. Check at least 285, maybe 295, and you should run the same front and rear, and that should be a good way to do it. And then non-performance pack, Ford Racing shocks and spring combo. They sell it. It's a Ford Performance Pack kit or whatever. It's not the Performance Pack kit. It's through Ford Racing.
It's a Ford Performance part from
it's
Ford
like
Racing.
Coney yellows and springs or something. That combined with the wheels and tires will be a huge difference. Oh, Jesus. 19 Fiesta S. Marcus says I have a. The 2019's Fiesta ST offer a Quafe LSD option. Is it worth finding and getting a new one or a CPO one without? If you can find a new one, get the new one, because that is a Quafe LSD is a big thing, especially if you plan to modify.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, if you can get one with a built-in diff, that's a lot of money you don't have to spend later. Thank you for various donations. And wait, what is that? That doesn't.
Should he buy an 06 Ford Falcon in South Dakota?
An 06 Ford Falcon, like from Australia? Like someone imported a Ford Falcon from Australia, and it's now in.
North Dakota, Minnesota. What did we say?
If someone's buying that,
South Dakota.
If someone's selling that in South Dakota, that's not been imported legally. I don't know how it got here, but it ain't supposed to be here. So,
yeah, check the paperwork.
Yeah, good luck registering that.
Unless it's only a track car, and then don't take it off a trailer in front of a cop, right?
Yeah,
because can you track car anything?
No.
If it was imported as a display vehicle,
here.
Really?
Can't be imported as a display vehicle.
There's no show and display law. Didn't they have them like Paganis and shit?
Yes, that's different. But if it's show and display, you get a registration. You get a plate. You're just limited on the number of
miles you can drive.
Right. Yeah, but it would still have a plate from your home state.
Gotcha. Yeah, this person needs to make sure it has a plate and registration.
Not only does it have that it has a plate, that it has a correct title and paperwork and import docs, and like I don't know why that car would be here. Yeah, it's too fucking new.
If the seller says no, it's totally fine. Don't do it.
Yeah, and it has a Florida title.
In a way where they don't present the documents to support the totally fine. They just go, no, it's like I had no problems.
I mean, also this guy lives in South Dakota, so I bet you could register a fucking golf cart on the street in South Dakota. I bet they don't give a fuck up there.
Probably true.
So like, Florida title, no title. Australian title, nah. Mm-hmm. You know, if that's got a South Dakota title, it's legit, or like another state besides Florida for some reason, fuck it. You know, Grab the Wheel says
these will be last two.
Yeah, and then we're getting out of here. Rate manufacturers in terms of honoring warranty for track driving from best to worst. I don't know.
Genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you to get an answer to a question like that, you'd probably want to go on one of those super track nerd forums, and where there's probably an ongoing thread of denied versus, accepted warranty claims via track driving. I've never really heard any horror stories of someone who was just driving on a track, like at an HPDE, as opposed to racing. And had something break that was clearly a warranty issue. Like Ford replaced all those engines in the Shelbys. Porsche replaced all the engines in GT3s. I mean, even Nissan, after 6 months of people grumbling about the launch control thing on the GTR, like they reprogrammed it a bit, and now that's under warranty too. Like, have you ever heard of anyone like really getting super fucked, like for just doing a track day in their car?
No, but I would also say that I'm not that connected to the track community. Like my best reference is Musto built his crazy 2011 Mustang with like square stance slicks, all this stuff, but he didn't touch the drivetrain. Yeah. So he was able to bring it in and still get warranty service done, and that's why I didn't mod that. So his experience was good because he made a point to not modify the drivetrain. That's all I got.
If that's what you would do with any manufacturer, you'd probably have a good experience. If you go, I'm going to put wheels and tires and suspension on this and put a roll bar, but the powertrain is fully stock, I think you'd probably fine with most people.
Yeah.
I think it's not so much the track driving is that you'd see significant mods,
Yeah,
and then the flatbed driver that brings it to the dealer and goes, I just brought this down from Willow Springs, and blows up your spot.
Yeah, very true.
And I think a lot of people who work at dealerships aren't necessarily car enthusiasts and wouldn't necessarily know the difference between an HPDE day and racing, and might need to have that explained to them in a nice way. Jeff Scazza, best utility truck for $10,000 for yard work and Home Depot runs. Fucking the best one you can find.
Yeah.
Go on, like literally the best condition one you can find. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, doesn't fucking matter. The best one you can get. I mean, at that point, it's literally Like, there's no best. It's not like after 15 years, Chevy is the best truck. It's like the one that has a seat that isn't fucked, the one that isn't rusty, the one that doesn't smell like piss, the one that's not covered in dog hair. You're shopping for an individual truck, not a brand of truck.
That's very true.
That's what I'm saying. All right, I'm not talking about specific Cars and Coffee events anymore on the air, Jordan, because I fucking ruined Trancas. So we're not doing that anymore. No more publicizing events until they're over. Patrick says, I have a stock 87 Corvette. I want more power. You should get rid of that car immediately and get an actual fast car. C5 Corvettes would feel like the fucking space shuttle compared to that thing.
That's true.
And Eskimo Bob says, the best driving school for car control, $8,000 budget.
Probably Bondurant.
Probably
Bondurant.
Yep. Or honestly, 8K. If you've got a car and a set of tires that you like, it will get you a lot of private instruction.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what I would say. And that's our show. We are going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to New York. I'll be back on Thursday. We'll probably record a show when I get back. But that is all. I hope you have enjoyed this Q&A half hour and a fucking long ass diatribe about the BMW i series. Wow.
Hey, we all learned something. I did.
Yeah,
I genuinely did.
Yeah, no, it is kind of interesting. It's just like interesting, like things that haven't worked out. It's like
all the companies are trying to figure out the future.
Yeah,
and not everyone's going to hit a home run. That's all it is, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. It will be interesting to see how I feel about this car. I mean, not to see, but like when you see the video, how I feel with this car compared to how I feel about driving the Cayenne Coupe Turbo SE Hybrid, which was like 5,700 pounds. But it was bonsai fast, and I loved it.
Well, of course, yeah. It like shoots your adrenaline up. And
yeah,
ooh, this is a good time.
Yeah, if they made the i8 bonsai fast, I'd forgive a lot of shit, and they could if they had their priorities. But they did this, and so it is what it is. All right, that's our show for you. Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, and something to say. Rest in peace, Carl Ruiz. I hope you are all out there fucking Ruizing. If you don't know what that means, just dress your craziest and act like you don't give a fuck. Have fun, people. Good night. Bye.